Welcome to our fifth webinar in our series. Today, we're going to be hosting our webinar on classroom management. Sorry, I'm echoing here. Let me go ahead and turn that off. There we go. Sorry about that. So this is our fifth webinar in the series. I'm so excited that you're here today, either live or you're watching this recorded on YouTube. Either way, we're happy to have you. If you are here live right now, go ahead and in our chat, we're going to be using that today. In the chat box, go ahead and let us know your first name, how long you've been with CodeMonkey, whether you're a first-time user this school year, maybe you've been with us for many years and thank you, or maybe you're just interested in CodeMonkey and want to know and learn more. So also go ahead and drop that in as well. So like I mentioned, this is our fifth webinar in the series. If you missed the first four, no worries. Don't worry about that. Ty's going to drop there in the chat the playlist link from our YouTube channel where you can already go ahead and find the first four that are there and watch on demand at any time, which is great. And then also at the end, I'm going to share how you could register for our upcoming one. So thank you so much, Ty, for posting that playlist link there in YouTube, and even maybe just save that to your YouTube, as we will continue to post each and every week all of our flash webinars in our series up until November. Also, if you do not already, please follow us on social. I know as an educator, I always follow CodeMonkey, which is the @CodeMonkeySTU, and Ty's also going to drop that in the chat there. I always follow CodeMonkey, whether you're on X or on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, as we post all of our new updates that are coming. Also, other teachers might be on there and sharing and hashtagging CodeMonkeySTU so that you can get some ideas of how they're using it in the classroom so that you can integrate those as well. Also, I'm really excited. We're relaunching our Facebook group or our community. So if you're interested, Ty's also going to drop that link there in the chat. Also, anything Ty drops in the link in the chat will also be under the description notes. So if you're watching this later, just go ahead and go down to the description. You can find all these links as well. But please join our Facebook community. Like I said, we're relaunching it here this month. And so you'll start to see new members there. It's a safe place for us all to ask questions. So there'll be customer success representatives on there. Sales will probably even join us possibly on there to answer questions you may have, but also other teachers are on there. And so you guys can share ideas, lesson plans, resources for how you're using it in your classroom. So I'm really excited about that. So let's meet the team. So first, my name is Lauren Rata. I'm one of the customer success managers here at CodeMonkey, as well as a trainer. I've been here at CodeMonkey for almost 2 years, and I'm also a former educator of 12 years, wore many hats, just like you all probably, but I also used CodeMonkey within my personal classroom, also supported other teachers with it. So I'm excited now to continue my journey and help teachers really worldwide with CodeMonkey. So thank you all. And then also we have Tyler Bates, or Ty, here with us today. He's one of our regional sales directors. Wave for us, Ty. Woo, thank you. You can find his contact information here, as well as, sorry, I didn't say my Twitter and LinkedIn, but if you follow me, please, I will follow you back. And also you can find Ty there on LinkedIn as well. And I'm sure he'd love to follow you back or connect with you as well. Thanks, Ty, for being here and supporting our chat as well. So let's look at our webinar objectives for today. I know it doesn't look like a lot to objectives, but really within that first one, there's a lot going on here. So first, our whole purpose of being here today is in this quick 20 minutes to gain effective strategies for managing your classroom. And then also, but what's mostly important is also maximizing that student engagement. So there's many different tips and tricks I'm going to share about your teacher dashboard that maybe you've seen but didn't know how to use it fully. Maybe you heard about it, but weren't quite ready for that, or you've never seen these tips and tricks before. So I'm going to show you all of those. And at the end, if we have time, we'll go ahead and on the spot answer any questions that maybe you had there in the chat. So let's go ahead and get started. And at this point, I am going to bounce back and forth with my live teacher dashboard as well as the slides, so you can see a little bit of both. And then also, like I said, as I talk about resources, Ty's going to drop those in the chat, as well as they'll be linked in the description notes if you're watching this on YouTube on demand. So let me go ahead and Get out of here. So my first one, as you can see, is going to be about assigning those, sorry, I'm moving my taskbar here too. Assigning those courses. So as you all know, that's really important. If you don't assign courses to students, they're not going to have anything on their student dashboard to be able to access and use. So let's go over that. So in order to assign courses, in my opinion, my favorite part, yes, you can get to them within the classroom here, the CodeMonkey classroom, but I love coming over here to this tab, the class assignments. I like this for many reasons. One of the reasons I love to see all of my CodeMonkey classes at once and be able to kind of bulk and efficiently assign them. Um, that's helpful. I think I get a better overall picture this way when I scroll to see what has already been assigned if I want to unassign it, as well as I really do like to limit progress from here as well. So let me show each of these things to you. So when you're looking at your classrooms, don't forget to assign it. It's very simple and easy. You hover over that gray box. And if I wanted to assign in my test kindergarten class, this CodeMonkey Junior, the second one, advanced sequencing and loops, all I have to do is click that green plus button. It turns green and lets me know it's assigned. And then also I can lock down the progress if I want. So I can either leave it wide open at free play, or I can say set progress limits. And I can now, it's going to tell you how many challenges are there. And I can now say just the first 10, please, if I want. I like to push the enter button. It'll tell me it was successful. And that just helps to kind of keep my friends on track when I'm doing a lesson. If I wanted them to stop, maybe sequencing ends at challenge 10, and I want us to stop there before I do my next learning objective for the next day, it would lock those kids down and take them back to the beginning of their dashboard so that they cannot move on. So I really like that. I also like that I can quickly unassign things from here. So I can hover over and decide, you know what, they're not quite ready for this yet. I can click that little X now and it will turn gray and say unassigned. So that's easy. Just a tip or trick or something to keep in mind. Don't forget that when you activate your subscription, that the first course within each of our core courses, they're automatically going to be assigned here, and you have to come unassign them, as well as the monthly activities will automatically be assigned and some of our mini courses. So be sure to go check on that. For an example here, as you can see, automatically both of our monthly activities, the one for K through 2 and 3 and up, are automatically assigned. If you think to yourself, you know what, I'm not sure I want my friends quite exploring that yet. I want them to focus on the courses I assign, and I'll open that up later in the month. Then all you have to do is go click these X's and unassign them so that you can see that, or reassign them. So that is assigning courses. Let's look at our next objective. Monitoring progress. As you all know, as educators, just like any core content area, in my opinion, whether it's math, science, social studies, it's important that we always monitor student progress in order to make our instructional decisions next to know where to take our students. And so CodeMonkey is a great platform that provides this in an efficient way for you. Ty's going to drop that in the chat, that link of how to get to your progress table, but let me show you in real time. So you'll go to your My Classrooms tab, and then you're going to come to the classroom and click on it. And automatically, the first thing that pops up is your progress tab. If not, to get back to it, just make sure this progress tab is clicked. Also, it's important to check a few things. Are you on the correct CodeMonkey class? I wanted to be on Test Classroom. And are you on the correct course? Maybe I wanted to be on CodeMonkey Junior Sequencing Loops. So I will click here. And now I have my progress table. I loved as an educator to leave this up at all times as I'm doing my mini lesson that day, as I'm sending students to work on the challenges, because remember, it updates in real and live time. So you will physically see these stars light up as your students move through the challenges. So first, you can just monitor where they're at and if they're using their time efficiently. Next, we have our star score rating, which is also within that link that Ty shared, and it'll tell you about the star score rating, but you can see how your friends are doing. If they get at least 1 star, it does allow them to move on, but you can quickly see with your eyes any students that are struggling. So for an example, if I notice that maybe example student 16, as we're doing our work time or our play time, and Harrison are not doing so well on challenge 4, I might go get those 2 friends together and sit with me, and we might work on that challenge together to fix their misconceptions before moving on. So that's really helpful. Also, this will give you, when you click on a student's name, Their student activity dashboard is what we call that, so that you can kind of see an overarching synopsis on how they're doing on CodeMonkey in general. So that's really helpful. As well as, I love that, so I can see the example student 16 maybe didn't do so well here on challenge 4. I can click on that star and I can see a timestamp of when they worked on it for accountability. And even further, I can click on that as a link and see their exact challenge or their solution, so that I can see what their misconceptions are and then maybe go sit next to them, or we can work back through it together. So that's really helpful. The last thing I want to show you, or one more thing, and then the last thing about this progress table, sometimes we tell our friends, I noticed, you struggled, we worked on it, but let's go back and try that again, so that they fix their misconceptions. I love that you can click on the star and you can see multiple attempts. So I maybe told Harrison on April 3rd, great job, we worked together, but let's go try that again. And he did on May 17th. And so that's helpful as well. And then last but not least, something I want to show you here is all still from this screen. If I decided I wanted to work with those two friends and I wanted what a perfect solution was, I can also click right here on the number 4 at the top, and it will show me what that perfect 3-star score rating looks like, the perfect challenge and the solution. So that's really helpful as well. So that is your monitoring progress table, all from your My Classrooms and that progress tab. Super helpful. Let's look at our next objective, is limiting progress. And we kind of talked about this already. Ty will drop that link there in the chat for the full help article. But just remember that you can limit progress. It's your choice. And there's 2 ways you can do that. While you're still in the progress tab, you can actually do it right from here where it says limit progress. Maybe you notice all of a sudden some friends are flying and others are, still struggling, and you don't want them to get too far. You could do it right here as you're monitoring the class. Say limit progress, limit it, and say up to what challenge within sequencing or loops there in CodeMonkey Junior. So that's one way. Also, I already showed you the other way, but just a review. Don't forget, under class assignments, when you assign it, you can click that drop down arrow and set the progress limits from here too. So that is limiting progress. Very helpful. The next thing I want to talk to you all about quickly is quizzes. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to have a grade tied to everything we do, especially in those upper grades. So CodeMonkey now provides this as a summative assessment for you. So quizzes is available. We have one. I will show you where those are located. When you come to your when you come to your classrooms and you're in the CodeMonkey class, you can go to the quizzes tab here to be able to see them and assign them, as well as get the results. So all nicely in one place for you. So we do provide these for block-based. So we have 3 for block-based with Beaver Achiever. So 1 for each of those coding concepts. Coding Adventure, so the text-based is Coding Adventure, all part 1, 2, and 3 have them, as well as with Banana Tales, we have those as well. All of the parts of Banana Tales, a summative assessment or a quiz for each. So all you have to do when you're ready is click, you can make a start and end date if you want. It'll be there in their student dashboard and they will see it under their courses and you can assign it. But what this does is gives them 3 challenges that look completely different from the course they've already had. So that is that true summative assessment. And then when they are complete, you can come under the quiz results and you can look at their score as well, and then use that how you see fit. So if you have to have grades, like I said, for your course that you're teaching with CodeMonkey, we provide that for you, that support. The next I'd like to quickly show you is certificates. It's important that we celebrate our students and their success. So after they're finished, you can generate these yourself. I know that it does allow them and it prompts them, but for you, you can also come within your teacher dashboard under teacher resources. You can come to scroll on down and find certificates. So we have a certificate for each course that is signed by Jonathan, our CEO and co-founder, as well as even for our monthly activities down here at the bottom. So check those out. Like I said, you can click on them, they're dated, you print them, put them in the hallway, let them take their picture with them, send them home, celebrate and champion your students. The next thing I want to quickly show you, I know we're getting to the end of our 20 minutes here, is our narration parrot, which can be great for all learners, but specifically if you have students with 504s or IEPs, this is a great way to support that legal document as well. So we knew that moving from, even though they're both block-based, moving from CodeMonkey Junior to Beaver Achiever can be a transition for some friends. With CodeMonkey Junior, it's all block based, right? And it's just visuals. But when we move to Beaver Achiever, now there's some text on those blocks as they're dragging and dropping. And that might be challenging for some of our friends who are advanced with coding, but maybe they're still struggling with their reading skills. They're non-readers possibly. And so let me show you how we can get into that narration period. So when we're here, and it's always there, and they have the choice to turn it on or off. So I'm going to come under courses. Remember, this is the same view that students get. And then when I come to, you can come to any of the Beaver Achiever courses. And when you say continue coding, you will notice our narration parrot down here at the bottom. Turn this down a little bit. But he is automatically on, and you can click on him. And when he closes his eyes, that means he's off now. So just so you can quickly see, he's on. And when I drag this, he says move left. I hope you heard that. I hope my audio is showing. Yes, okay. So that just helps to support students. Move right. Drop. And so we just feel like that's a great support for our friends. Like I said, a lot of them are advanced with coding, but maybe they're still struggling with reading. So just know that that is there. We don't have a link on that, but just know that you can go under your courses. You can click on any of the Beaver Achiever courses, and that will be for you and your students automatically there if you choose to turn it on. And if you don't like it and it bothers you or your students, just remind them to click on that narration parrot. When he closes his eyes, he will stop talking and reading the block. So a great tool though. So the next thing I want to quickly show you is our search for student tool. I think this is a hidden gem and only kind of when you need it. I don't think a lot of people realize it's there. So when you're here under your My Classrooms tab, let's say you see multiple sections of students, but you have one friend in your mind that you really want to quickly find, but you forget which class they're in, right? You might see anywhere from 5 to 10. I know some teachers that have 15 classrooms that come to them. And so if you want to find that friend really quickly, you can come to this. I call it the skinny snowman or the kebab. And under here, it says search for student. You can quickly type in that student's name and say search, and it's going to tell you which classrooms they're a part of, as well as it will let you quickly click on go to classroom and take you to that classroom where they're a part of. And then you can then monitor their progress, update their account, anything that you were wanting to do, quickly find their grades, all the things. So just know that that's there. The next thing, I know I'm running short on time. I have just a few super hints, super helpful. Especially if your students are working independently and you're not able to get around to all of them. In Coding Adventure, this can be turned on so that when you're here under your classrooms and you have to be, so I'm in my classrooms in any of our Coding Adventure courses, you'll notice all of a sudden we have turn on super hints. So if you click on it, it's going to say that they are now on, and students will get more of a light bulb and additional support when they're working on these difficult challenges. So like I said, really helpful. Students are kind of more working independently, or there's only one of you and 30 something students, and it's hard to get around to them all. And so that can be a really helpful tool. So make sure you check out Super Hints. The next one is Classroom Nickname. This is only really applicable, but I still wanted to share it if you are Clever rostered, ClassLink rostered, or importing using Google Classroom, but still super helpful. We know that it's a blessing when they pull those rostering things in for us, but also sometimes they're named things that don't quite make sense to us because that's what's in the student information system. So we came out with this tool last fall called a Classroom Nickname. And so I cannot pull up someone's account that is rostered for confidentiality reasons, as you all know. But what I can do is show you this little screenshot. So if you'll look here at my screen, if you are rostered with ClassLink, Clever, or Google Classroom Import, when you look at your classrooms in the My Classrooms, you'll be able to see a little kebab and it'll say edit nickname. When you click on that, you can nickname it anything you'd like, what the class should be called, what you think it should be called. And then once you save that, it will be helpful for you to identify. So just know that that is a tool available to you. The next one is archiving students or classrooms. This can be helpful if it's kind of your teacher dashboard's a little cluttered and you don't want to see all those classrooms. Maybe at the beginning of the year you saw a section, but now it's the next 9 weeks and you don't see them anymore, but they're still on your subscription and you want to access their data, but you just don't want them on your main page. Then all you have to do within your My Classrooms page is beside the course, come to the little kebab and say archive, and that's going to send that up here into your archived classrooms. Also, that can be done when you're looking at, for time, I'm going to not click on it. When you're looking at your student list in the students tab, you can also click that kebab and archive a student. But remember that archiving a classroom will automatically archive the students. So if you are wanting to do that anyways, I would archive the classroom for all those kiddos. And so that's more of a one step than individual students. So just know that that's there, and also know that they're not gone forever. Their student progress and data is saved. They're just hidden out under your archived classrooms and students and can be recovered from there as well. So last but not least, our Discover tab is what I'd like to quickly share with you all. Just know that this is available on your subscription. Also, if it's turned on for your students, it's there for them as well. This is our library of our games and challenges from students and teachers around the world. Great for showcasing so that students can kind of see what a great mentor looks like, so that they can get started creating some of them on their own. And they can also remix them, which allows them to kind of duplicate it and change them up if they need some guidance on how to continue and make their own. Know though that we are COPA and FERPA compliant. Everything is safe here. We vet every single one of these before we post them. So there will not be anything inappropriate here. There will not be any personal identifiable information. And if a student or a teacher submits one that has that, we cannot accept it. So check out that Discover tab for you as a teacher, but also allow your students when you're ready for it. So I think we're at the end of our time. So unfortunately, Ty, if we have any questions in our chat, we'll just reach out to them. We have their information. We'll just reach out to them personally with any of those questions. Like I said, I want to respect your time. We're at the end of our 20 minutes. But thank you all for joining us today. The last link we want to leave you with is, if you're interested, it's actually in 2 days. Maya's going to be leading our next webinar on teacher resources, which is a great webinar to attend to learn about what is available in there and what we could see you using as being useful to help you integrate and implement CodeMonkey in your classroom. It is, like I said, this Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Register there, whether you're able to attend live or not, because if not, we will also send you the recording after for a direct link, and it will always be on our YouTube playlist within about 24 hours afterwards as well. So thank you all so much for joining us, and we hope to see you at some of our future webinars.